What is up, guys? My name is Harris, and welcome to the first edition of the Habs News and Rumors Report. We have a bunch of topics to get into. Let's just get right into the video. So as you can see, the first thing we're going to talk about is some trades that happened. Those have happened today, the 30th of June 2019, as I'm recording this, and hopefully uploading this the same night. So we had Andrew Shaw and a 2021 7th-round pick going to Chicago, and in return, we get a 2022nd, 2027th, and a 2021 third coming back to Montreal. In my opinion, this trade helped Chicago literally immediately. However, I think tomorrow, starting July 1st, it could really benefit Montreal. I mean, we get 3 draft picks out of the deal, plus it helps us save cap for anyone that we may want to sign, such as an Anders Lee or Matt Duchene, anyone that could help, which we'll get into later with the free agent rumors. But this team, I think this trade helps out both teams. Shaw going back to Chicago could give them the grit that they've needed, and they really haven't been the same without Shaw since he was traded here to Montreal. He's been a good player for us, but I think going back to Chicago, he'll really do good there, and I think he could give the Blackhawks a chance to make the playoffs once again. And Nick Deslaurier to Anaheim, and in return, Montreal gets back a 2024th. We're clearly trying to do what we did this year for the draft in stockpiling draft picks that we may or may not use to help get a trade going that have required too many draft picks. I think this year, with the stockpiling of the draft picks, it'll also transpire into more players for us. So Nick Deslaurier, in my opinion, he didn't play that great with Montreal, so I think him going to Anaheim can definitely benefit both the team and the Canadians. Anaheim, because they get a good depth piece, especially with them losing Corey Perry, buying him out, and him going to free agency, where I can't see him signing another contract with the Ducks personally. I think he's going to another team who could be a Stanley Cup contender, and it helps Montreal because we get another draft pick, and once again, we save up cap that we could potentially use to buy someone on the free agency market tomorrow. And for our next topic, Montreal has re-signed defenseman Mike Reilly at 2 years for $1.5 million each season. I think Reilly is a good depth defenseman. Of course, I do not have him down here in my projected lineups list because, quite frankly, I thought it was funny to add an Alzner. We'll get to him in a little while. But, yeah, speaking of, this is the first episode, so I thought I'd mention it. Each episode, I may or may not change up the projected lineups. No doubt, I think it will be changing for the next episode after July 1st. How little or how big it will change, we'll find out after July 1st. Potentially on July 1st. I may or may not stream tomorrow. You might want to be on the lookout for that. But Mike Reilly, he's a good defenseman in my opinion, and especially getting him at a deal like $1.5 million each year could definitely benefit us. Now, however, with signing Lettinen and Armia, however that will go, we'll find out. Next up, we will have some free agency rumors. Of course, everyone is rumored to go to the Habs, the Leafs, and the Canucks this year. However, who is the most likely candidate to come to the Habs? At the top of the list for me is not Mitch Marner. Mitch, in my opinion, either stays in Toronto, they hold out, do something like a Nylander, of course not as long, I think maybe a couple days, a few weeks at most, or he leaves the Leafs and goes somewhere else, therefore giving the Leafs 2 sets of first-round picks for the next 4 years, their own and whoever may pick up Marner on RFA. Duchene, in my opinion, I think is going to Nashville. All the rumors seem to make sense. Nashville is a Stanley Cup contender, even though they've lost PK Subban, and they're probably one of the most overrated teams in my opinion. They absolutely do not have the best defense in the league. They're just not going to win the cup, in my opinion. But Duchene wants to go there. It makes sense why he would want to, so Duchene coming to Montreal, I think very well still could be likely. I mean, Duchene would be a great add to our center core, our center depth. It would probably push Ryan Poehling out of here Though Caufield probably could be sent down to the minors if Poehling wants to play the wing. Or better yet, we could move Domi over to the wing, and that would get Lettinen and or Armia out if we don't sign them. Anders Lee, surprisingly, is the most likely candidate right now, it seems. The Habs have been rumored to go after him for a couple days now, I want to say. I think he could fit very well. He's coming from a trash Islanders team that just got swept in the second round by the Carolina Hurricanes. And I think Lee getting out of there is the best thing that could happen for him. Especially if he comes over to a franchise like the Montreal Canadiens, which such a storied history. Anders Lee, if we can sign him at a 4 or 5 year deal for the next 5 to 6 years, that would be really, really good. Especially since the guy turns 29 2 or 3 days after July 1st. We'll have him right at his best, in my opinion. Especially if we put him top 3, most likely top six minutes. I think he'll definitely be a big hit for us. Corey Perry is, for some reason, rumored to come to the Montreal Canadiens. I can't see us signing Corey Perry. I think it'll cost too much. He'll ask for too much. I just can't see us taking Corey Perry, really. If we were to, it would add a bit of depth. I mean, he's a bit older, yeah, but he can still play. But I personally would not be a big fan if Montreal goes out to get Corey Perry. John Gilmour, who I've actually never heard of, is rumored to come to the Montreal Canadiens. I can't say much because I haven't heard of the guy, so he's just rumored right now. Curtis McElhaney was rumored for a while, but he seemed to have dropped out of the running for Habs backup goaltender, most likely because he's playing starting minutes now in Carolina. Would I like to see McElhaney come to the Habs? Absolutely. I think he could be a good backup, but considering he'll most likely want to play starter minutes, considering he'll be behind Carey Price, yeah, Habs aren't going to go after McElhaney, unless he's okay playing starter in the AHL. Speaking on backups and our last free agency rumor, Keith Kincaid is rumored to come to the Montreal Canadiens. I wouldn't like to see him come, honestly. I'd rather Charles Lindgren, or if he's ready, a Caden Primo in the backup position. But considering we got rid of Antti Niemi and he wasn't good for us the past 2 seasons, Kincaid would be a bit of a downgrade even from Niemi. So Kincaid coming to the Montreal Canadiens, I would not be up for. I do not want to see that happen, personally. In our next segment, we're going to do a Karl Alzner update. Why? Because I like poking fun at Karl Alzner. He's not been traded. He's likely to be bought out if the Habs are able to acquire a left-handed defenseman. However, is he really likely to be bought out now, considering we have about $12 million in cap space? I feel the trades could help his case for staying with the Montreal Canadiens. I mean, he is playing in the minors right now. He has been for quite a while. Do the Habs buy Alzner out? No, I don't think we will if we get a left-handed defenseman on the market tomorrow. If anything, I think we just call up Alzner for preseason, send him back down, unless Noah Juulsen is not able to come back from his eye injury. In that case, Alzner very well could end up back in the NHL. So next up is the first season preview. How is the Montreal Canadiens season looking so far? Judging off last season, considering we've gotten rid of Andrew Shaw, Nick Deslaurier, and we still need to sign Artturi Lettinen and Joel Armia, along with potentially getting Lindgren as our backup, not having a left-handed defenseman. However, having possibly Suzuki, Poehling, and Caufield coming up to the lineup right out of the gate, I feel like the Habs season could be a very strong one. I don't know if it will be at the beginning, but I think at the end of the season, the Habs will make the playoffs. As of right now. Of course, after free agency ends, we may or may not be saying, oh yeah, the Habs are making the playoffs, or yeah, with the moves that they made, no, they won't be. However, right now, I'm leaning towards yes, the Montreal Canadiens will make the playoffs at the end of the season. Record? 42, 30, and 12. 42, 30, and 10. And speaking of the season preview, I probably could have just included it in there, but I wanted to make it its own segments. Who could get called up this season? Poehling is, in my opinion, the most likely candidate to get called up. Even though I have Suzuki playing second line right wing, which actually special thanks to, I forget the site, I'll probably put it if I remember to here below me, but Nick Suzuki, I feel could come up this season. I think he may be ready, but another year in the AHL could definitely help him. But Ryan Poehling, after the performance he gave last season in his one game, scoring 4 goals, I feel like he's ready to come up to the AHL. He pulls an Austin Matthews against Toronto. I think with Poehling, it'll be great if he comes up next season. I can't necessarily see him playing second line. Personally, I think if we don't get a center, I think Kotkaniemi ends up playing second center, and Domi moves over to the wing, and Drouin goes down to the third. But even with Poehling playing fourth line, I think he'll get good ice time playing that fourth line and getting onto a power play or penalty killing unit. And Caufield, could Cole Caufield be called up? I'm giving it a definite maybe. It's time for our ex-Habs lookout. That's right, we take a look at 3 former Habs and where they are. Subban, Predator, no, he's been moved to the Devils. Galchenyuk's been moved to the Penguins. Pacioretty is still in Vegas. This is the finale segment of the Habs News and Rumors update. I'm your host, Harry Rice. I hope you enjoyed watching this video or listening to it, however you would like to view it. I hope you all enjoyed today's topics. I hope I'm right, at least partially, in the free agent rumors. The trades and Reilly resigning give the Habs some definite hope for free agency tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Harry Rice. This has been the Habs News and Rumors update. Please subscribe if you would like more weekly Habs updates for the news and rumors. I will be streaming live after every game once the regular season starts. Maybe the preseason, maybe even the postseason, during games perhaps. Please let me know any suggestions that you would like to see for topics in the comments below. My name is Harry Rice. This has been your Habs update.